Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome back to the fly-by-wire Airbus A380, which has just gotten a huge update that improves the model, the systems and more. Now, let's go ahead and fly this beautiful airplane from Build's brand new Doha scenery, which just looks amazing. I really gotta say this. So at this point, thank you very much to Builds for developing and for providing me with this scenery. Before we start, a quick message from today's sponsor, Say Intentions AI. If you are looking for an ATC add-on that can not just do your standard IFR A to B flight, but that can also do other things such as data link, VFR, traffic injection and more, and if you like what you're going to see in today's video in terms of ATC, cabin crew and the injected traffic, then check them out using the link in the video description or in the pinned comment below. And with all of that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So follow me into our Airbus A380. Now, let's go ahead and start with the basics over here. That's going to be thrust levers idle, master levers off, the landing gear lever is down, start selector norm, wipers are off. Then we can check our battery voltage up here. And we need at least 25 volts on each of them. And this is looking pretty good. Alright, and then we can power our brand new airplane up. So, external 2, 3, 1 and 4 in that sequence. And with that our airplane comes to life. Now let's go ahead and fire up all the lights over here. So ambient light, that's basically your floodlight, is coming right up, and the main panel floodlight comes up as well. And here we go. That's everything turned all the way up. A little bit too bright for my taste, to be honest. So let's just turn the ambient light down a little bit. I think this is much nicer, isn't it? Okay, so electrical power is applied. Then
runway
we can
awareness.
turn on the ATIS 1, 2
meters.
and 3. Do the fire test, and then, well, we should have an air conditioning unit available here in Doha, so let's go ahead, fire up the EFB and have a look. So import the SimBrief data, and then we can go over to the ground services, and let's see, we do have a ground power unit, but no air conditioning unit. Alright, well in that case, let's go ahead and fire up the APU as well. So APU master and APU starter. Also logo light, nav light and strobe light to auto. Alright. So with that we've got the basics done. So let's now have a look into our flight plan. For this we can initialize our OAS down here. So let's get out the table with its integrated keyboard. And then let's go ahead and start setting up. So our flight number is going to be Qatari 834, and this is going from Doha to Bangkok, like this. So flight folder, let's get our OFP, and here it is. So Qatari 834, super, on an A380, performance factor is 100, we are not critical with any of our weights, Cosnx 50 is planned. Now let's scroll down a little bit and find our charts. So, as you can see, fairly straightforward flight with nothing much to worry about. There are a couple of CVs when we reach the Indian coast that we gotta fly through, and then we have this huge area that's part of the intertropical convergence zone that basically covers the second half of our flight. So for this we will certainly take a little bit of extra fuel to be able to fly around this. Also look at this, quite some headwind today, which is rather unusual, but we absolutely gotta accept this. Alright, so let's find our airport weather so that we can make a fuel decision. So loads of SIGMATs issued for basically everything from India onwards, which matches the significant weather chart. But first of all, our departure airport in Doha, 45 degrees. No further comment. Our arrival in Bangkok has thunderstorms everywhere in the forecast, and our first alternate is good. So Utapao, or however you call this, is actually very good, so it's only the destination and en route. So I think overall half an hour of extra fuel should probably do. So let's go ahead and have a look. An on-time departure results in an on-time arrival. Let's see, 23:05, and right now it is 22:50, okay, so we got 15 minutes. Well, we'll be able to do that. Alright, so let's have a look into the fuel down here. Half an hour extra is 5,000 kilos, and in order to transport those we need another 1,000, so 6,000 kilos on top. So let's say that's 90 tons, let's make it 96, well, 97 tons. And I think that should be sufficient for our flight. So, our SimBrief data is already in here, so let's load that, and then let's go to the fuel section, and up here we wanted 90, what did we say, 97. Well, 96 actually. Alright, and load. Very good, with that our aircraft is loaded, so then let's go ahead with our procedures. So, in terms of the technical status of the aircraft, there isn't much to say about this. It's an A380-800, and it's standard configuration. Not much that's worth mentioning. Now, no OEBs, no tech log entries either. The IRS is running already, oxygen pressure is looking good. Then let's have a look at the hydraulics, and that's looking very good. And finally the engine oil. And that is looking excellent as well. Okay, wonderful. So, APU is here. Let's bring on the APU bleed. And here we go. Lovely. So, some nice cool air. Okay, cool. So, spot is retracted, flaps up, agree with the lever, and that's the preliminary completed. So, let's go ahead and do our cockpit preparation procedure. Up here, everything's set. Down here, well, refueling is complete, so we can turn the signs on as well. And then we can turn on the fuel pumps, which is only a matter of an eternity. Here we go. So that's okay. And on the right hand side here, not much to do either. Don't need any temperature settings, so let's just turn those down. And last but not least, we do need to record our PAs up here, so let's select those. Very good. Okay, getting down to the main panel then, let's see what our current weather is. 902. Here we go, that's set. 29th of June 25, that's looking good. Everything's good down here. Frequencies, we'll deal with that in a few moments. For the time being, let's just ensure we made the right selections down here. And note that the interphone light is still inoperative. That's something we wrote down in the tech log a little while ago already, isn't it? But it doesn't matter. So let's get right into our FMS. So, since the feedback when I had my point of view in something like this with the last A350 video was quite good, let's go ahead and keep it that way and start working on our flight. So, A380-800 with a Trent engine, SNAF database is up to date. Then let's go to the init page, request the company flight plan, and that may take a little while right now. Let's make use of that time though. Menu, and we're looking for the terminal charts from Navigraph, from Doha, and we first of all got to grab the taxi charts. So airport and apron 3 and code Fox taxi chart. Wonderful, and then we need our SIDs. Cupro 1 Echo, here it is. That was easy. That was very easy. Okay, wonderful. And you can switch in a night mode, please. If you may. No comment. Oh, look at that. If we reload, then it gives us the correct mode as well. Nice. Alright, so let's go ahead. Flight plan has arrived, receive and insert. So So, Qatari 834 from Doha to Bangkok, alternate VTBU, level 350. We'll just leave the temperature and the tropopause alone here. Wind component is an average headwind of 28 knots. IRS alignment is in progress. Departure, runway 34 right, and we got the Cupro 1 Echo departure. Insert, and for the arrival we will initially select runway 19 with an ILS Zulu approach. Our arrival is going to be the Villa 1 Charlie arrival. And we've got the Ibeto transition. Alright, Tempe and insert. So let's now open the chart and check that everything is correct. Okay, so straight out to ATBIP above 500 feet, that's looking good. Let's also bring up the plan mode over here. Then it's going to be a right-hand turn towards Obnob. And that's got a 210 knot restriction and above 1500 feet. On to Serga below 4000 feet, Lotum, and then we have Aslan and Cupro below level 250. Like this, wonderful. Okay, so flight plan info and fix info, we may as well do those now already. That's gonna be OTHH34 right. And the extended center line, let's see what radial that is, 336. Cool, and that is created. Nice, so return, init, nav8, there is nothing hard tuned. Fuel and load, let's take a look into the plan again. So 355.2 like this, and the block fuel 97. Alright, passengers, we'll just let that slide. We don't have final figures yet, but if it's doing that automatically, that's fine. Okay, so alternate fuel is 3.4, and the final reserve fuel will be 5.1. Okay, 3% contingency fuel, please. Like this, and here we go. Alright, lovely. Then let's go on into the takeoff performance, and for that we will need the performance calculator from SimBrief. So let's bring that one up. And here it is. Okay, so we're in Doha, 34 right. We will take, well, let's say 4,700 meters of takeoff run. So, takeoff weight, that's a little bit heavier now. Let's see, we loaded an additional 7,000, so let's calculate 49, or rather 449 tons. Okay, calculate. Here we go, flaps 166 degrees. Stop margin 310. Okay, if that's it, then that's it. So, flex 66, flaps 1 is already selected, packs on, ATIS off, noise abatement procedure 2, engine out acceleration 1500, transition 13,000. That's all looking good, and our takeoff speeds 455862. Alright. So, full climb thrust is selected. We'll definitely need it with these temperatures. And that's our FMS preparation complete, since the secondary is not simulated in here. Okay, so let's go down to the surveillance page. Weather radar is off, transponder is in standby. ATC com page is not yet implemented, unfortunately. Not even the ATIS request, which would be really nice if they could do that. But okay. Well, and that is our initial FMS setup completed. So let's get our departure charts onto here. That always takes a little while. And when we're done with that, we are basically ready for the departure briefing already. I just like how quickly those things go over here. Alright, so here's our chart. Beautiful. So, QNH 90902. Here we go. Airport traffic and initial 4,000. Alright, cool. So that's everything set. Scheduled off block is in 4 minutes. That is looking quite good in terms of the time. So let's go ahead and get our IFR clearance. So pin charts, let's take the general airport chart. Okay, ATIS 12685.
Back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Romeo. Hamid International Airport, information Romeo. 1100 Zulu. Wind 050 at 6. Cav OK. Temperature 39er. Dew point 21. QNH 09er Density altitude 3400 feet. Arriving and departing runways 34 right, 34 left. Transition level 145 advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read.
Okay, beautiful. So that's our ATIS now on board. So let's go ahead and call for IFR clearance. Ahmad delivery Qatari 834 super information Bravo request IFR clearance to Bangkok. Some sort of a notepad.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Unfortunately, we have none in this plane. You would in the real world, but
Qatari 834, information Romeo is current. Cleared to Suvarnabhumi via the Copper 1 Echo departure, Venice file. Use departure runway 34 right. Initial climb to 4,000 feet. Departure on 119.725 squawk 6752.
Qatari 834 cleared to Suvarnabhumi via the Cupro 1 Echo departure, flight plan route, runway 34 right, climb 4000, departure 119.725 squawk 6752.
Qatari 834, read back correct. Contact ground on 120.225.
120.225, Qatari 834. Alright, lovely. So, Cupro 1 Echo departure is confirmed, climbing 4000 and squawk 6752 is confirmed. Wonderful.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard this flight with Emirates heading to Bangkok. My name is Khadija.
Did she say this flight with Emirates? Uh-oh.
We are here to ensure you have a pleasant journey. Please take your seats according to your boarding passes and stow your hand luggage in the overhead
Okay, so
bins or under the
let's go ahead
seats
and continue with our departure
If you
briefing.
need any assistance, feel free to reach out to any of our crew members. Thank you.
So we're departing off Doha, runway 34 right, Cupro 1 Echo departure, initial 4000, MSA 2300, extra fuel and time. We have 6000 kilos, which equals into half an hour extra. Alright, so no hotspots for our taxi routing. The sit is, or rather the engine out sit is straight at 25 miles. Stop margin for this one is 300 meters plus the TUS effect. And if we need to come back, runway 34 right is the longest runway available, and that's the one that we are going to go to. Apart from that, I've got nothing special or non-standard here. 210 knot restriction initially, and 217 is the clean speed, so we're going to keep the flaps extended after takeoff. And that's really all there is. We can of course always ask ATC to lift the speed restriction, which we are probably also going to do. Apart from that, nothing special, nothing non-standard. And do you see any threats? No? Me neither. So that's our briefing complete. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen from Flight. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of Qatar Airways, welcome aboard our Airbus A380 on our flight to Bangkok. Today's flight time will be 6.5 hours. We expect a smooth first half of the flight. The second half will be a little bit turbulent as we are crossing into Asia. Nonetheless, please sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us, and if there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. Once again, welcome aboard. So, ground from flight deck. Go ahead. Please confirm all doors and hatches are closed, all ground equipment is removed, and the bypass pin is installed. Yeah, not yet. We're working on it. So the GPU can go, the doors are closed. I think they'll arm them automatically, so we don't need to worry about that down here. Well, and with that out of the way, cockpit preparation checklist, please. So, gear pins and covers removed. Fuel quantity 96,000 kilograms, and that's balanced. Okay, barrel reference QNH 9R9R2. Cockpit preparation checklist complete. Alright, so the ground crew is preparing the aircraft for pushback and departure. Let's go ahead and do our final performance figures here. So we have a zero fuel weight of 355.2. And that is correct. The CG 33.6. Alright, block fuel 96. 484 passengers, cost NX50, that's all correct. And estimated fuel on board 27, that's 15 tons extra, so roughly 1 hour. Okay, looks good. And our final takeoff weight is going to be 449.7. We had calculated 449, so I'll tell you what, let's just recalculate here with 450 tons. And that is flaps 1, 66 degrees, 45, 58, 63. 45, 58, 63 looks good. 66 degrees is also good. Alright, and the Stabgen 40.3. Flaps 1 selected. Perfect. Okay, wonderful. So ground, can you please confirm that all the checks are completed now? Affirm, sir. Everything is completed. We're ready to push. Thank you. Calling for clearance. Mud ground Qatari A34 Super, request pushback and startup.
Qatari 834, pushback and startup approved. Face east.
Pushback and startup approved. Face east. Qatari 834. Okay, V4 start checklist. Park and brake. Set. Takeoff speeds and thrust. So, V1 145, VR 158, V2 162, flex 66. B4 start checklist complete. So, ground flight, we're clear to push facing east, park and brake set. Thank you, release brakes please. Brake released. Thank you, start on the pushback and please stand by for engine start. Roger. Alright. So, let's dim those lights a little bit. Something like this should be perfectly fine. Okay,
The
cool.
cabin is ready for departure, Emmanuel.
Thank you very much.
Ladies and
Okay,
gentlemen,
ground from flight
welcome
deck.
aboard
We
this
will
flight
start
with
engines
Emirates
1, 2, 3,
heading to
4 in that
Bangkok.
sequence.
We are delighted to have you with us today.
Clear
Our
to
captain
start.
for this flight is Emmanuel, and our
Starting
first
engines
officer
1 and
is
2.
Stephanie. Joining me in the cabin are my wonderful colleagues Aisha, Zayed, Layla, and Hamad. We are currently pushing back from Doha, and our flight number is FS 2024. We expect a flight time of approximately 6 hours. Now I'd like to take a moment to go over some important safety information. First, please ensure your seatbelt is fastened. To fasten your seatbelt, insert the metal tip into the buckle until you hear a click. To release it, simply lift the buckle. Please keep your seatbelt fastened whenever you are seated, as we may experience turbulence. In the unlikely event of a loss of
I hope that everyone is traveling to a destination with water today. Okay, ground, we've got 2 good starts. We're starting 3 and 4.
In the event of an evacuation,
Clear 3-4.
please leave all luggage on board and proceed to the nearest exit. Our aircraft has 8 emergency exits, which are located at the front, middle and rear of the cabin. Please take a moment to locate the exit nearest to you, keeping in mind that it may be behind you. We kindly ask that you remain seated with your seat belt fastened until the aircraft
Okay, you can
comes to
complete the
a
pushback
complete
here.
stop.
We are
Thank you
happy
for
to
your
taxi
attention
everything
and we
back.
wish you a pleasant flight.
Alright, push completed, set brakes. Brake set. Okay, and that is looking very good over here. Okay, ground, we have 4 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect. Please show me the pin on the right-hand side and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye. Okay, it's trimmed itself perfectly, nothing on the status page, so we're just waiting for GSX to disconnect the ground equipment now. So, where are they? There's the tuck. There's the tow bar. Can't see anything here, huh? Okay, let's make use of the time and do the flight control check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Okay, so ramp agent, where are you? Can't see a thing.
Qatari 807, give way to the company 789.
Nope, can't see anything.
Give way to the company
Okay,
789,
after start
Qatari
checklist,
807.
please. Let's assume he's gone. Anti-ice, off, pitch trim, takeoff. After start checklist complete. Qatari 834 Super, request taxi.
Qatari 834, taxi to runway 34 right via Echo 1 Charlie Alpha.
Taxi at runway 34 right via Echo 1 Charlie Alpha Qatari 834. Okay, straight ahead, second to the right, at left at the end.
IFLY 1346, taxi to runway 34 right via Sierra 4, Sierra
Right,
1,
brake
cross
release.
runway 34 left, then Sierra Charlie.
Rolling on idle, very nice. Brake check.
34 right
Pressure
via Sierra
0.
4, Sierra 1, cross runway 34 left, then Sierra Charlie, iFly 1346.
So let's dim it a little bit. That's looking good. Very nice. It is a good looking airplane, isn't it? It's unbelievable that this is freeware and it's only getting better and better and better. So, there is one airplane coming over there, but he seems to be faster than us. But we're probably behind him, but let's check. Qatari 834, are we behind the airplane from the left?
Qatari 834, affirmative, you are behind the airplane from the left.
Qatari 834, roger. Okay. An A350. Okay, and there is another one coming, but we'll go in between.
Qatari 26 Bravo, ready to taxi.
Qatari 26 Bravo, taxi to runway 34 right, via Whiskey 1, Whiskey 4, Juliet, Sierra, Charlie.
Alright, I've got no changes to our takeoff briefing.
34 right, via
Everything
Whiskey 1,
remained
Whiskey
exactly
4,
as it
Juliet,
was.
Sierra, Charlie, Qatari 26 Bravo.
Qatari 68, Charlie, cleared for push and start.
Okay, taxi checklist.
Pushback approved.
Flight controls,
Qatari 68, Charlie.
checked. Flap setting, config 1+F, radar on, taxi checklist complete. I honestly gotta say, this is one of the best airports that any builds have produced in a long, long time. I mean, look at these terminals. Especially that one over here looks interesting. Is that like the Royal Terminal? Fairly sure they have something like that over here. Let's see if we can get some info on the... Oh yeah, Emiri apron. Emiri Terminal. Yeah. That was rather obvious by just looking at the terminal, huh? Let me look at this. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? With an A380 waiting for them. And what's that, an A350? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so one approaching aircraft, then we got the A350 ahead of us. So we're probably looking at about 2 or 3 minutes delay at the holding point.
Qatari 68, Charlie, taxi to runway 34 right, via Sierra 4.
So let's ensure we
Sierra
don't run
1,
into this.
cross, runway 34 left, then Sierra,
Not with
Charlie.
our wingtip either.
34 right via Sierra 4, Sierra 1, cross runway 34 left, then Sierra, Charlie, Qatari 68, Charlie.
Okay, and if you're stopping here, then we
Qatari
need to as
77 Kilo,
well.
request pushback.
Qatari 77
So I
Kilo,
guess the
push
arriving
and
aircraft will be first.
Pushback approved. Qatari 77 Kilo.
So we can already work ahead a little bit and select our SID chart down here. Go on, give me the night version, please. Here we go, that's better. So, arrivals before departures, that makes sense. Can't see anything more. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so is there anything else we can do? Not really. They planned 15 minutes taxi time. Scheduled off block was 05, so we're at those 15 minutes now, so probably another 2 or 3 minutes delay. Not a problem. Alright, so we'll follow the A350.
Qatari 77 Kilo, ready to taxi.
Who knows,
Qatari
perhaps
77
that's the
Kilo,
Beijing
taxi to
flight
runway
that
34
we
right,
did earlier.
via Sierra 4, Sierra 1, cross runway 34 left, then Sierra, Charlie.
34 right via Sierra 4, Sierra 1, cross runway 34 left, then Sierra, Charlie, Qatari 77 Kilo. Qatari 40 Lima, request push and start.
Qatari 40 Lima, cleared for push and start.
Pushback approved. Qatari 40 Lima.
Qatari 834, contact tower on 118.025.
118.025, Qatari 834. Hamad Tower, Qatari 834 Super, ready for departure. So departure was 119725.
Qatari 834 Super, Hamad Tower, runway 34 right, hold short. You're number 1 behind the A350.
Hold short 34 right, Qatari 834 Super. Okay, the 350 is departing.
Qatari 834 Super, Hamad Tower, runway 34 right, winds 050 at 6, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 34 right, clear for takeoff, Qatari 834 Super. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Okay, lineup checklist. So takeoff runway, 34 right, full length. Actually Alpha 1, but we did calculate that. Packs 1 and 2, on. Lineup checklist complete. Are you ready?
Approaching 3-4 right.
Okay, so the A350 is gone. There he is, climbing away. Very good. So, are you ready? Yes, Captain.
Qatari 8055, wind 050 at 6, runway 34 left, cleared to land.
On runway 34
34
right.
cleared to land, Qatari 8055.
Command flag 66, SRS, runway, auto thrust blue. Thrust set. knots, checked. V1. Rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Nav, checked. So, 12.5 degrees pitch works pretty well, just like it should. Beautiful city. Autopilot 1, because I want to have the chance to look out a little bit.
Contact departure.
Final departure Qatari 834. Thrust climb auto thrust. Door departure Qatari 834 Super, passing 1,400, climbing 4,000. Look at this.
Qatari 834 Super, Doha departure, radar contact.
Okay, so please start the right turn. And it does. Better late than never. This just looks amazing. The entire city scenery does. Next time we're gonna fly here by daylight.
Qatari 834 Super, Doha departure, climb flight level 190.
Climb flight level 190, Qatari 834 Super. Open climb, alt 19000 blue. Qatari 834, any speed restriction? Say again.
Qatari No speed restriction.
No speed restriction, Qatari A34 Super. Flap 0. Speed checked, flaps 0. Speed 250. Okay, wonderful. So we're relieved of the OSNOP restrictions. And that's looking pretty good. So now the question of all questions. 0521. I don't believe it. That's too early. That doesn't make sense. Okay. So it's unreliable. Just like the optimum and the maximum calculations are, unfortunately. Yeah, guess we can't change that, but that's fine, we'll survive. Okay, good. So, acceleration flow pattern, flaps up, spoilers retracted, landing gear up, packs on. Very good. So, you can feel the temperature, huh? Plus 45. I could swear I read 46 over there a few moments ago. Oh, this controller is talking quite quiet. Please speak louder. No, that was no better. Qatari 834, we are unable to understand you. You are too quiet. Okay, manage speed.
Qatari 834 Super, no speed restriction. Climb, flight level 210.
Climb flight level 210, Qatari 834 Super, reach 5. So this is something I like about sane tensions. When something like this happens, that the controller is too quiet, you just tell them, and then they're actually going to correct. The same happens, you're going to see it on a future video. For example, in Portugal, there is one controller accent who just sounds really aggressive. And when you just tell him like, hey, calm down a little bit, he actually does. So that's really cool. All those characters here have personalities, and of course it shouldn't happen that, you know, you have someone with an aggressive accent or so, but when it does, you tell them, and then they're correcting themselves. Just like this controller over here, who we've just told to speak a little bit louder, and then she actually does. Okay, so 2,000 feet a minute. Climb. That is not very fast, but yeah, what can you do? So we're back in climb thrust, we don't need that chrono anymore. So, let's have a look. Oh, look at that. Now the optimum and maximum have come up quite a bit. I wish they could improve that a little bit to make it more reliable. Simbrief says level 350 initially, and then 370 at Tonbo. Let's actually go ahead and program that. Step-ons. Tonbo.
Climb flight level 250.
Qatari 834, climb flight level 250. 25,000 blue. Okay, Tonbo 370 is in, and then we've got level 390 at Pushback. Step above max? I don't think so. I think we can trust Simbrief a little bit more than we can trust our FMS here. Unfortunately, but that's how it is. Alright, and then we're reaching 10,000. I don't think that Cupro level 250 restriction is going to be a problem, by the way. Yeah, level 189. It's not a problem. Okay, passing 10,000. Lights off. Pitch is coming down now. Signs auto. And up here, everything's set.
Welcome to use your electronic devices. Please ensure that they are set to flight mode. Also,
Okay. I think that's about everything we need for the time being, so just sit back, relax and enjoy the flight with us. And if there is anything we can do for you to make it more enjoyable, don't hesitate to ask any of our charming cabin crew. top of descent is coming, and we can start to prepare our A380 for our landing in Bangkok. Let's find some charts and start to prepare ourselves for our arrival. So, to Bangkok. Let's find the weather first, and that's from 0500, so that is 16 minutes old, and the wind is 212, 10 kilometers, few CBs, scatter 35, 30 degrees, 1007.
Qatari 834, contact Yangon Center on 124.75.
So, that is selected, and let's go ahead and find our charts. First things first is there an A380 chart. Basically looking for anything that would say Coke or Foxtrot or something.
Afternoon, maintaining flight level
But
390.
it doesn't actually look like it. So So then we need the parking chart for the southern parking, as we're parking on the satellite 1 apron. And that's located on the parking positions down sat apron 1. So that one down here. Okay, wonderful. So let's find the approach chart. Number 19, ILS, and the ATIS is on 133.6.
Qatari 834, Yangon Center, expected North 1 Charlie arrival. I'll call your descent in roughly 15 minutes. Notify if you're ready to descend before that. Direct Norta.
Expecting the North 1 Charlie arrival. Direct Norta. Qatari 834.
Okay, that's a change. Norta 1 Charlie arrival. So, runway 19, ILS Zulu, star Norta 1 Charlie. And we don't need any transition. Okay, Tempe insert. And Norta, present position direct. Okay, slight rerouting by the looks. Probably getting us around some thunderstorms, I would guess. There definitely is a little bit up there. Can see that from here. Over there as well. Maybe that's the reason. For sure, if we were in the US, then I would say yes, that is the reason. Okay, so let's listen to the ATIS and see which runways are in use.
HT 20 left. Transition level 120 advise on course heading, altitude, and the flight following is requested. Read vet all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Charlie. Suvarnabhumi Airport, information Charlie. 1300 Zulu. Wind 250 at 6. Visibility 6. Sky conditions. Humid 2,000 feet. Temperature 28. Dew point 22. QNH 1005. Density altitude 1800 feet. Arriving and departing runways 190, 20 right, 20 left. Transition level 12.
Okay, runway 19 is in use, then let's select that. And now let's go ahead and find that approach chart. So, Norta 1 Charlie arrival. Let's see what that's about. So Norta is up here. Yeah, so we're taking a detour indeed. Okay, fine. We will survive doing that. Instead of going like this, we're now going like this. That's fine with me though. So Norta, below level 180. Okay, looks like we don't need this for now. Okay, so Norta, maximum 280 below flight level 180. And we're continuing via the BS 519 above level 160, BS 518 maximum 250 knots, mapping above 11,000, BS 515. Above 9,000 max 220, BS 514, and Atkin, which is above 6,000, so that's looking good. Okay, from there we're going to join the ILS approach. And we are starting at Lavak, then towards Lokmu. And Lokmu is in 2,500. So Lokmu, 2,500, 180 knots. Then we got the BS 790 in 1,600, which is correct, and 160 knots. Okay, that's from here. That's okay as well. Then let's have a look at the missed approach. We got the departure end of runway, then a left turn to BS 604, maximum 210 knots. Followed by left turn to BS 605, maximum 4,000, which we have, and then we proceed towards optip at 5,000, and that's all correct down here. Lovely. So now for the performance. Descent, I'm happy with the speeds. Now let's go for the approach data. So the wind is 210 at 12. Temperature 30. And the QNH is 1007. Alright, does that look good? Yes it does. So, minimum 250. And we are going to do config full 140 knots. Transition level was 150. And let's see, 4,000 meters approach altitude, 1,800 is the MSA input sector. So let's do EO acceleration 1,800. Okay, lovely. So apart from that, fuel and load, 13.5 tons extra, that is roughly an hour, which is good. So let's find the airport chart. Airport select, Bangkok, display. This may take a little while now, as it is a rather complex and large airport. Here we go. That was quicker than I thought. Okay, runway 19 is our landing runway. And yeah, let's take Bravo 10. Okay, BTB is armed. Lovely. So that's all the setup complete. In that case, let's go ahead and start with our approach briefing. Your turn. Okay, thank you. So we are going to fly the Nota 1 Charlie arrival for an ILS Zulu approach runway 19 at 250, go around with a left turn, climbing to an altitude of 4,000 feet. Extra fuel time 1 hour in the form of 13,500 kilograms. Thank you for this. Now the arrival is going to be the ILS Zulu 19. We'll use the flight director and config full maximum reverse to vacate the runway with BTB on the second rapid exit taxiway to the right hand side. We've got no specials or non-standards, and I have no hotspots for our taxi route. Anything special from your side? No? Lovely. So that's our approach briefing complete. Then I'm off the radios and you have control. Very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from Flight. This is your captain speaking. In about 10 minutes we will leave our cruise altitude and start our descent towards our destination, Bangkok. The weather at the moment, temperature of 30 degrees and some rain showers in the area. We hope that you have enjoyed your stay on board our flagship Airbus A380, and we look forward to welcoming you again on board of the future Qatar Airways flight. In the meantime, we would like to thank you very much for choosing to fly with us today, and hope to see you again in future service. Enjoy your stay in Bangkok. If applicable, we wish you a nice and safe continuous journey.
Qatari 834, contact Bangkok Control on 120.5.
Contacting Bangkok Control on 120.5. Qatari 834.
Alright, my friends. So with that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the continued flight to Bangkok. And I see you again on the approach.
Bangkok approach, Qatari 834. Good afternoon. We're descending through flight level 160 down to flight level 110. Qatari 834 Super, Bangkok approach identified. Good afternoon. Expect the ILS Zulu runway 19er approach into Suvarnabhumi. Expecting the ILS Zulu approach for runway 19 at Suvarnabhumi. Qatari 834 Super.
Okay, that's a word. So ILS Zulu approach runway 19 is confirmed by our traffic control, and our routing is going to lead us pretty much straight in if ATC doesn't let us fly the entire S-turn, which I don't think they're going to do. It doesn't look too busy at the moment. Hopefully it isn't, but we'll find out about it. They just cleared us down to 11,000 feet on the QNH of 1007. And since we're cleared to an altitude already, we can do an early approach checklist. So let's give that a try. So, barrel reference, QNH 1007. Minimum barrel 250. Auto brake, BTV, approach check is complete. My comms.
Switching to Hanoi Center on 125.9er, Shenzhen Air 310.
And approaching.
I am sorry, Emmanuel. I didn't quite catch that. Could you please repeat your request?
I will take the radios from here.
All right, Emmanuel, you're in charge of the radios now.
Qatari 834 Super, can we fly direct Lavok?
Qatari 834 Super, unable direct to Lubbock. Maintain current heading.
Maintain current heading. Qatari 834 Super. Speed heading, or speed vertical speed heading. 1000 to go. So if they're taking us onto a heading already, then I do expect that we are going to get the shortcut to the final soon. We gotta be a little bit careful with our altitude, because we are getting rather high now. 35 miles to the final, 11,500 feet. And the wind is going to be a little bit of a tailwind pushing us towards the final. But we can worry about that when we actually get there. In the meantime, beautiful terrain outside. Here's the CBs that they've told us about. Let's see, shall we take a slight left turn? I think there's the airfield. Maybe just take a slight turn away from this one. Qatari 834, request heading 180 to avoid weather.
Qatari 834, heading 180, approved to avoid weather.
Heading 180 approved, Qatari 834. Okay. It doesn't seem too busy here, so... Qatari 834, request further descent.
Qatari 834, descent altitude 9,000 feet.
Descent altitude 9,000 feet, Qatari 834. And let's turn right by another 5 degrees or so to avoid that thing up there. So, thrust idle descent alt 9,000 blue. Okay, that's not our destination airport, that's got to be that other Bangkok airport. I keep forgetting its name. Victor Tango Bravo Delta. That looks more like it. The distance seems to match as well, with about 15 miles. I think that is alright. Okay, cool. So on this heading we should stay clear of all the weather. Hopefully we'll be able to descend below this up there. Just in case, flight deck is secure, everything's stowed. Perfect. So... speed, vertical speeds. 1000 to go. Okay, lights on, signs on. Ethos is set. Cabin crew, prepare for landing.
Captain, cabin is ready.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now beginning our final approach into Bangkok. Please turn off your electronic devices and stow them until we arrive at the gate. Ensure your tray tables are put away, your seats are in their full upright.
So let's start reducing our speed.
Our staff
Activate approach trace.
information regarding your connecting flights.
Speed
Thank you for
210.
Operation.
Qatari 834, request radar vectors to final. All star.
Qatari 834, descend altitude 3500, turn left heading 110 vectors for the ILS runway 19er approach.
Qatari 834, descend altitude 3500, left heading 110, vectors ILS Zulu 19. Okay, that's looking good. So give me Lavok on top, please.
Qatari 834, turn left heading 100.
Left heading 100, Qatari 834. Okay, insert and pull heading. Here we go, heading. So 3000 high, well, that's something we can fix.
Qatari 834 Super, 11 miles from Lotmo, turn right heading 150, descend altitude 2500 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 19er approach.
So right heading 150, descend altitude 2500, cleared ILS 19er, Qatari 834. Okay, lovely. That's the clearance I've been waiting for. So we're some 18 miles out. That matches. ISEN is identified. So cross Lotmo at 180 knots. We can do that. So Lotmo on top, please. Heading. Flaps 1. Speed checked. Flaps 1. And then we can go full speed brake without getting into the VLS. That's just to help the airplane a little bit. Give ourselves a little bit more margin up here. So let's see, we gotta be in, well, 2500 at Lotmo and then 1600 at waypoint 790. Should be able to do that. It's definitely going to be an intercept from above, but nothing impossible. Alright, gear down. Lock blue. I'm using localizer mode only in the beginning because we may still find some side lobe from the ILS.
Qatari 834, contact Suvarnabhumi Tower on 118.2.
118.2, Qatari 834, super. Block star. Manage speed and vertical speed 1500. Speed, vertical speed. Right, so we can set 1600 on the FCU. Suvarnabhumi Tower, Qatari 834 Super, ILS Zulu 19.
Qatari 834 Super, Suvarnabhumi Tower, roger.
Lock. Thrust side, load and descent block. Alright, and the speed brake's coming back in.
Qatari 834 Super, Suvarnabhumi Tower, wind 240 at 4, runway 19er clear to land.
2,500. Runway 19er clear to land, Qatari 834 Super. Okay. So, autopilot disconnect button is new. And something that I do really appreciate. So, Cat 1, glass loop blue, flaps 2. Manual thrust, flaps 3. Speed check, flaps 3. And flaps 4. Speed checked, flaps 4. So, glide slope star. We're on altitude, so I think it's 4,000. Yes, it is. Set. Glide slope. Okay, landing checklist, please. Decam memo. Landing no blue. Landing checklist complete.
Singapore 7430, winds 240 at 4. Runway 02 right, clear to land.
02 right, clear to land. Singapore 7430.
Why does he clear someone to land on 02 right? That's the wrong direction. And looking at the wind on our MD, we are not doing anything grossly wrong. Speed check, correcting.
1,000.
Checked. A little downdraft here. Look at how much thrust we need. Lovely downdraft.
Approaching 19.
So now we're out of it. You can see all of a sudden we just need some 30%. And we almost needed like 60 or 70% so a few moments ago. Wind check.
500. 400.
Wind check. Land.
300. 100 above.
Checked.
Qatari 834, winds 240 at 4.
200. Minimum.
Continue.
100.
Man, the wind is
50.
interesting.
40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Alright, we nailed the aiming point. Spoilers, reverse green, decel. knots.
Qatari 834, welcome to Suvarnabhumi. Contact ground on 121.95.
Off.
Qatari 834, contact 121.95. Alright. So, welcome to Bangkok. Now, our gate is going to be Sierra 112. Suvarnabhumi ground, Qatari 834 Super. Request taxi to gate Sierra 112.
Officer Stephanie and the entire crew, we thank you for flying with us today. Did you know that Bangkok is known for having the largest open-air market in the world? It's called
Qatari 834, taxi to S112 via Bravo 10, Bravo 7, Charlie 9er, Tango 19er. Good day.
We hope you enjoy your time.
Taxi to Bravo 7 via, taxi to Sierra 112 via Bravo Tango Sierra, Qatari 834. Don't ask me what that plane is doing here. But we'll do what we always wish to do on VATSIM, which is just drive through it. But you are certainly not supposed to be here, my friend. Now wait for it, and there it's gone. I love these. Okay, so let's get that taxi chart. So we're continuing on Bravo.
Capital
Gate
Jet
will be up
613 ready to
here.
taxi.
Sierra 112.
Capital Jet 613, taxi to runway 2 right via Tango 5, Tango 2, Charlie, Hotel, Delta 8, Echo, Echo 19er.
And actually, I think this was the wrong gate.
2
We gotta
right
go
via
to Sierra
Tango 5, Tango 2,
111.
Charlie, Hotel, Delta 8, Echo, Echo 19er, Capital Jet 613.
Qatari 834, request taxi to gate Sierra 111. So, Charlie 10, Charlie... Well, this one is closed. Gotta take the next one.
Ground Singapore 7430, taxi to parking.
Okay, first of all...
Singapore
let's take a moment.
7430, taxi to
That's gonna
parking
stay
via
out in
Echo 5,
one.
Echo, Delta
And
4,
down here
Delta,
everything's
Delta
set.
7, Golf, Charlie, Tango 2, Tango 5.
Okay, so next to the left.
Echo, Delta 4, Delta, Delta 7, Golf, Charlie, Tango 2, Tango 5, Singapore 7430.
So 10 knots into the turn. Looks like they've really turned the runways. We might have been the last to land on 19. Okay, so let's open GSX. Sierra 111. No follow me needed. Handling by, I don't know, Thai, because why not? And then next to the left. So the aft landing checklist. Do we even have one in here? Nope. Okay. So temperature at the moment 30, so we are definitely going to keep the flaps out in 1.
EVA 67 contact tower on 118.2.
Over to tower, EVA 67.
Okay. APU avail. Lovely. So I'm going to keep both engines running because, well, we are rather heavy and it's rather hot. So 6 hours and 34 minutes. That is quite okay. So up here everything's done that we could have done. Good.
Capital Jet 613 ready to taxi.
That would be
Capital
lovely if
Jet
there were
613,
any
taxi
actual
to runway
gate
2 right
markings
via Tango 5,
in here.
Tango 2, Charlie, Hotel,
That's Hotel
Delta
6
8,
coming
Echo,
up.
Echo 19er.
And our parking is just behind that. 2 behind
2 right
6.
via Tango 5, Tango 2, Charlie, Hotel, Delta 8,
think it's
Echo,
gonna be
Echo
this
19er,
one.
Capital Jet 613.
The terminal actually looks quite good, doesn't it? Okay, so Sierra 111 is coming up. Lights off, please. And just to check weather radar is off. Wonderful. Alright, so here's our parking. Just a little thrust to help it through the turn. And here we
Cathay
are.
619, a contact tower on 118.1.
So it looks like the guidance system is broken. Or is it? No, it's working. Okay. A380 is on there.
Over to tower, Cathay 619er.
Looking good.
Thai 922 contact tower on 118.2.
Over to tower, Thai 922.
That accent sounded local. Okay, 1 meter and... How is that too far? What are you doing, you stupid GSX? APU bleed on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cabin crew, all doors in park. Okay, here we go. So, transponder, standby. Engines going off. Beacon off. Slide set is armed. Seatbelts off. And now comes the challenge of turning off all those fuel pumps. Alright. Parking checklist, please. So, park and brake our trucks. Brake set. Wing light. Off. Parking checklist complete. So, GSX, request deboarding. And then we can go down here and get ourselves a ground power unit. Even though we will definitely keep our APU running. Okay. Very nice. And that, my friends, is it. Welcome to Bangkok Airport. I do hope you enjoyed the flight as much as I did. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. Let me know how you like this one. Let me know what route you want me to do next. And with all of that out of the way, thank you very much for watching. As always, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Check out Say Intentions AI if you like today's ATC, and if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching. I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.